Here is the fox that we made in the last video. Now, in order to 3D print this, I'm going to do a few simple things. One is right now, the way I have my model created, the fox is just going to fall over. So I'm going to add a stand for it. It's not going to look great, but it is going to help just function-wise for my 3D print. So to add that stand, I'm going to look at the front view. I'm going to add a cylinder. And I want to go low mesh. I'm going to go 7 vertices. So it's got this like flat spot in the front. And then I'm going to click on it, press S and Z to scale it in the Z axis. G and Z to move it down so that it is intersecting with the feet. There we go. And one extra thing for fun, actually a couple extra things. I'm going to, I think, add a color to it. Make it kind of an orange. Not that that's going to 3D print, but I just think it looks cool. And I'm going to add some text to the front. So to add text, what I'm going to do is really exactly the same way I do any mesh. Shift A, text this time. And I'm going to press 7 to look at the front, G to move this. To change the text, I press Tab or go into Edit mode. And you'll notice in edit mode, my hotkeys no longer work. I'm just able to change the text with that cursor. So I'm going to delete. I'm going to make this one, how about Mr. Fox? I know it's not very clever, but it'll work. And next. Okay, so I have my text there. I'm going to press Tab to get out of it. And to modify the text, first thing I want to do is I'm going to stand it straight up. I need to rotate it for that. An easy way to do that in object mode, if you don't have that area selected, press N as in Nancy, and then I selected the text, and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees in the x-axis. So if I rotate, you'll see it's now standing straight up. And I'm going to move it to the front of this platform. To do that, I'll do a few things. First of all, I'm going to go 1 to see close, and I'm going to scale this way, way down. And then to do my modifications, I'm going to go over here, and under this right here is the text modification. I'm going to go into the geometry, and I'm going to extrude it quite a bit. And another thing you'll notice is you can change the font. That's pretty easy to do. I just click that drop down, and then I click on this file folder right here. And it gives me a bunch of options. Actually, kind of like this one. I'm going to do this one. Oh, there you go. Cool. All right. Then 1 for the front view, and G. And I'm going to move it into place. 3 for the side view. G and Y. Move it so that's sticking out. I'm going to extrude it a little bit more so that I get some good depth. There we go. I think I'm going to add a black material just so I can see this a little bit better. And cool. My fox has a stand and a nameplate. Next, I'm going to want to export the STL. The STL file is the file that my 3D printer software can convert into G-code to print everything out. So let me show you that process. First thing I do is I'm going to select my entire object. I can do that here as well. But I'm going to select everything I want to 3D print. Then I'm going to go over to File, Export, STL for stereolithograph. And then this is really important. If you have extra things inside of your Blender file, it will export all of those. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to click Selection Only. And the reason why it currently doesn't like me naming it Fox 2 in my downloads is because that already exists. It doesn't really matter for you. Yours will not be read. But Selection Only, click Export STL. And that put the STL in my downloads. Really, all you guys will need to do at this point is send me that STL file, and I can help you set it up so that you can 3D print it. But skipping the middleman, we're going to jump right into the Prusa software. I'm going to delete that original one. And to add my STL, I click on Add. And wherever you saved it, you could send it to me through Schoology message, or you could, much easier, put it onto a flash drive and bring that to me, but it's got to be an STL. I'm going to open it. Oh, and then you'll usually see this, the object is too small. The reason why is because my Blender is currently set up for meters, which is way too big for the build plate. So it noticed that, and it's going to change it to inches instead, which is totally fine. I'm going to click yes. And then there is my file. You'll notice it is nice and meshy, but when it prints out, it's not really going to look meshy at all. It'll look nice and smooth. Final little pieces. When I go to 3D print, I'm going to need to add support material. The way the 3D printer works is it goes layer by layer by layer and puts layers on top of each other, which means it cannot print in space. So I'm going to need some sort of scaffold support. To do that, I'm going to click support on build plate only. And I always use a special support, which is very easy to break off, called organic supports. To find that, if it's not already on, you'll click on Print Settings, and then under Support Material, we'll auto-generate supports, and then under Style, go to Organic. Now I'm going to go back to the platter, and when I click Slice, it's going to create a G-code and an image of what the printout is going to look like. So there's the image of my print. All of this green stuff right here, this is support material. This is to prevent anything from falling over. But everything looks good. This will print in 2 hours and 47 minutes. So all I have to do at this point is click Export G-code, save that onto my flash drive, which I'm going to put inside of the 3D printer, and then you are good to go. I hope that was nice, easy, informative. Happy printing, everybody. Have a lot of fun.